In such a competitive world where today our HR paradigms are continuously shifting and we are struggling to find the right talent. The irony though is that while a lot of people are struggling to find good jobs, we as employers and organizations are struggling to find the correct talent to fit the right people into the right job. And if you are going to be making such important decisions in your organization, then this is the time for you to spend about 5 to 7 minutes just watching what I'm going to share with you about how to hire the right people in your organization. Or let's just get this whole recruiting, hiring process. So probably just 10 very quick tips into how we can get this right. First of all, when you advertise for a job and when people are responding to your advertisement, ensure that you are going to address each and every applicant and write to them. Because the worst thing or the most bizarre or the most ridiculous thing that recruiters do is to advertise and not respond. Next, well, if you have shortlisted a few profiles and screened a few CVs and all of that, and then you have them in front of you, ensure that you go through them very well just before the candidate arrives, or do your homework. There was once when I flew back home for an interview, and I remember the recruiter did not even have a copy of my CV while I was actually called in for an interview and flown down all just to talk and have a chat. It just showed sheer unprofessionalism on the part of the recruiter. One of the worst experiences that I've had as a candidate who's being interviewed is being made to wait for a long time before my interviewer arrives. And I tell you, that's one of the most unprofessional things that you can do as a recruiter, is to make your candidates wait. While they're sitting there with sheer nervousness, all you can do is to make them feel at ease. When you commence an interview, always ensure that you start an interview with a candidate of showing empathy and of showing genuine care. Make the candidate feel at ease. That's one of the important points of starting an interview. Questions like, how was your drive here? Or did you have a good day today? And things like that. If you have planned to assess your candidate on some kind of a behavioral assessment, then I think you should jump straight into asking questions about how a candidate would behave in a certain situation. Give them case studies, etc., etc. That's one of the best ways of assessing how a candidate would respond to you during a situation or a crisis, etc. One of the things that we call in performance is the halo effect. When you get carried away by certain attributes, such as good language, probably communication, great dressing, grooming, all of that could be great attributes, but they could be only a cover over something that is not very substantial. So ensure that you dive right into the candidate to find out what exactly the candidate has got to offer and what value addition would that be to your organization. One of the advices I give a lot of interviewers is follow a 3-step approach. The first one is about, yes, introduce yourself very well and the organization to an extent. But the second step is more important, is where you get a lot of information from the candidate. The third step is when you close towards the interview, where you talk a little bit about the role, talk a little bit about the organization, and then to tell them what are your expectations from this person who's an incumbent. Always ensure that your interview is a two-way conversation, right? Be the listener, hear out more. There's more information there is that to the candidate than you can think about. So ensure that this is a two-way conversation, and always ensure that the candidate is put at ease. Do not make the candidate feel that you're the one in authority because you're sitting right across the table of giving the person an opportunity. And finally, if you've decided to hire the candidate, I think you should make a candidate yearn for a job. Help the candidate to prove that he or she deserves to work with you in the organization. That is one of the most things that important things that I have learned throughout this interviewing process, and the techniques of how to interview candidates is how we make someone feel that they really want the job and that they are passionate about it. This way you can judge the patience, perseverance, and whether the candidate is actually really interested in coming into your organization and working with you. So this is just a summary of a few points that I've been wanting to share with people who actually make an effort to advertise jobs, but not do a great job in hiring or recruiting. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.